Hey everybody, and welcome to the next episode of Dr. Impact's Quarantine Comic Book Prescription. I'm sure you're wondering why the background is a little different this week, as opposed to, how it normally is. Well, if you're a regular listener to our podcast at My Big Fat Pull List, you probably know that I've been in development for some time on a fan film featuring the Mighty Crusaders. They're my all-time favorite superheroes, but there are a number of scenes in that film that take place in a private investigator's office, let's say. So we have been in the process here of boxing things up and rearranging our personal home office and prepping this as a set location for that. You've seen part of it from the other videos and now this. So anyway, backgrounds may be changing because we're in the process of redressing sets constantly around here. For more info on that, head on over to the website for the film, and you can find out more information there. So last week, there's a national day for everything, and one of the things that we noticed was that last week there was a national day for siblings, National Siblings Day or something. So in honor of a sibling of mine, I was really trying to get this Aquaman, The Search for Mera read. It's about 10 issues from about 1969. I didn't finish it, so that will be on next week's episode. So with this week's episode, what we're going to talk about is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Urban Legends. Now, what Urban Legends is, and why this qualifies as a new to you comic book day post, as opposed to just a current issues topic for the podcast. So in the 90s, I believe it was, Image Comics licensed the Ninja Turtles. And these books were put out, they were black and white, and I think they did 23 issues, I want to say, of the book. And it was very different and very kind of 90s comic extreme, very Image style. Well, the book was canceled or the plug was pulled. I'm not entirely certain what happened. If you know what happened, please share with us in the comments what exactly happened, why the book never made it past issue 23. But suffice to say, it didn't. Issue 23 was the last issue. It was right in the middle of a storyline, and it never concluded. Jump ahead now to 2019, end of 2018, maybe early 2019. IDW has a wonderful run that they've been doing for the Ninja Turtles. Well, they licensed the old Image books, and they have been reprinting every issue on a monthly basis in full color under the title Urban Legends. So as far as I'm concerned, this counts as a new to you comic book day post because it's not necessarily new books. It is reprints of books from the 90s. And the idea, the approach that they have is that once the book ends, once they get to issue 23, they have hired the original writer and the original artist to return to finish the story, which I think is another 3 issues. So it'll go through issue 26. But as of right now, only the first 22 issues are out. Now, again, if you listen to the podcast, if you follow us at all, you probably know that I'm always way behind in what I get monthly. And one of the benefits of this stay-at-home, shelter-in-place quarantine time is that it is forcing me to finally get caught up on things. So I finally got caught up on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Urban Legends. They only have up to issue 22 out. 23 was supposed to be out in a few weeks, and obviously Diamond isn't distributing at the moment, so 23 has not come out, and none of the new issues have come out. But I finally got caught up, and overall I'd have to say this is very enjoyable, especially if you like the Turtles. If you really like the Ninja Turtles, or you really like 90s comics, this is very much for you. If the only thing that you've ever known from the Turtles is either the cartoon or the old school comics, I don't know if this would appeal to you. It's very, very different. I know that the book kind of takes place in the world of the original Mirage series. It definitely does, because there's references in the book. There are constantly editorial notes at the bottom of each moment that they reference that calls back to Volume 1, Mirage Volume 1, issues whatever, or, this event occurred, as you know, in Volume 2, Mirage issue whatever. So it does technically connect to those, but I kind of like to think of it more as maybe an alternate future timeline of those, because it's very, very different and very extreme. They made a lot of changes in the book, and as an alternate story, as an alternate book, it's awesome. As a continuity thing to the original stuff, I don't know. And I'm not talking about minuscule changes like, there's a storyline where Splinter gets turned into a bat. That's not a change. That's a storyline. He eventually gets saved by the turtles and healed and turned back into, the Splinter that we know and love. So that's not a change. I'm talking more permanent changes. Leonardo loses a hand. That's a big permanent change. Raphael loses an eye early on in the series, I think in issue 1 actually, and then eventually becomes the new Shredder. Is in this world, Shredder is dead, and the Foot is kind of aimless, and he becomes the new Shredder, donning the Shredder armor and everything, and becoming the head of the Foot Clan. He takes over the Foot Clan, which is very interesting. And Donatello is seemingly killed in the first or second issue, I forget which, and he ends up molding to this cybernetic being of some sort, and he becomes a half turtle, half cyborg thing, and you can even see that here on the cover. He's right there, and Raphael starts out wearing the old Casey Jones mask, and so it's very strange. It's very different for anyone who loves the traditional classic Turtles. But having said that, if you like seeing things different, it's really fun and really in your face, and very exciting. And of course, it's very 90s style art and that 90s style image style writing. So being a child of 90s comics, I absolutely love it, and I'm very excited now that I'm finally caught up. And I'm also a little bummed that here we are. They've been reprinting these once a month to try and finally finish the series, and once again it doesn't get past the early 20s in issue count, and it's halted. Now hopefully this halt is temporary, and hopefully that the rest of the series will get done, and we will get the final 3 issues of the story and finally find out how it ends. I'm sure that there are trade paperbacks out there that you can get. I would suggest it overall. Again, if your only experience is the classic stuff, or the old Archie Adventure series, or the cartoons, or the movies, or even the current IDW series, which is absolutely fantastic and probably one of my top 5 books that are being printed right now every month. If that's your only exposure, I'm not quite sure if this is for you. But if you just enjoy the Turtles in any way, if you enjoy 90s comics, and if you just enjoy kind of reading and being a part of a little bit of comic book history, in the sense that this was a series that ended and is being brought back on a monthly basis, and being given the opportunity to complete the story, then absolutely I recommend it. Check it out. It's very, very, very fun. Well, that's it for this week, guys. As I said, next week we will be looking at Aquaman: The Search for Mera, classic story from the late 60s, early 70s. And as always, head on over to our Patreon page. The web address is, it's right here. If there's a topic you want us to talk about, if there's a book you want us to read and you want us to discuss, or if there's anything that you want any of the other guys to specifically look at and give their opinion and discuss on, head on over to our Patreon, become a member, and suggest that topic, and we absolutely will. So anyway, until next time, guys, thanks a lot. Happy New to You Comic Book Day.